You got to understand reality better if you understand how to properly think and speak and do. Yeah. It's 21st century. Yes. Why you can't fix your own furnace anymore? The dealer trap, illegal to repair. You know. I remember Better Off Dead. That was kind of a funny movie back when I was young. Kind of like, what was I watching? Meatballs. Yeah. And it was like in the 1980s, like way back when you know. Well, hypocrisy is something that you should definitely resist, being a self righteous hypocrite. But righteousness rules. So I'll forgive you this time, for you are being very ignorant, not insignificant. I guess you just hope to be dope as me. But righteousness is, but righteousness is not a show for self-righteous hypocrites that charge everybody money to live here and then say that they're the most holy and righteous at doing it, right? That's insane. Because you'd think in the 21st century, with mass communications and the best scientific community we've ever had in the history of scientific community, and the most moral, good, upright, truthful, courageous, kind citizens in the history of the world, that we would be using technology right now to, first apply the physics of the Lord's Prayer and then maintain it with the faith of Psalms and the wisdom of Proverbs. You'd think. Confucius say, oh, they're just as, it's not encouraging when you see they're just as fucking dumb and stupid in China and Japan as they are in the U.S. It's like, oh, fuck. Okay. No wonder this is taking so long to fix. Fuck. I thought this fixing the technology thing, I didn't think I'd have to. I thought people would, sisters are doing it for themselves. Right. I thought people would, he's right, okay, let's do it. Right. And so I didn't think I'd have all this resistance from all these assholes, major marketer players, whatever you call them. I didn't think this would happen. I didn't think it was feasible. I didn't think, they could continue to be this fucked up and stupid and irrational. And, so I'm like, that sucks. Yeah, it does. Yeah, okay, well, Um, so, a Dakota medicine man and a mountain man help a boy and his family stranded in the Rockies in 1850. Brian Keith narrates 1997. 1 hour and 35 minutes. Walking Thunder. I already saw Skins. Yeah, with Eric Schweig and Graham Greene. Yeah, I already watched that. That was 2002. Yeah. Just doing time. Courtney and Kim take New York. One last dash. The wedding. Andy Griffith. Oh, is this him and Miss Crump? Miss Crump? I don't know. I'm gonna find out. We'll see. We'll find out. Um. Uh, yeah, by this time you had George Lindsay and the one guy who plays Warren. I don't know who he is. And you still have Floyd. Yeah. And so okay. But I dream of Jeannie. She's the light brown hair. Remember the Bugs Bunny? It's Mel Blanc. I know it's Mel Blanc. It's not really Bugs Bunny. It's comedians writing down lines, drawing pictures of animals acting like human beings, and then selling breakfast cereal and soda and cap guns and shoot your eye out, kid. All right, okay. So you know, right? They ain't them bunny rabbits' real voices, right? Like George Lindsay. George Lindsay plays a dog. He plays a vulture in Robin Hood, and he plays a dog in the Aristocrats, and he does play a rabbit. Don't he play a rabbit when someone goes in the Rescuers? I think he does. I'm not sure, but George Lindsay plays a lot of voices in Disney cartoons. Okay, he's been a dog. He's Lafayette, right? and Pat Buttram is Napoleon, right? Is that right on the Aristocrats? And he plays Jehoshaphat. Trigger, put that pea shooter down. So does he play? He plays Nutsy. I think he plays Nutsy. I think Ken Curtis plays Trigger, right? And Pat Buttram plays the Sheriff of Nottingham, right? And then, okay, so yeah, George Lindsay's done lots of cartoon voices. Yeah, from the Andy Griffith Show there. Ba-doo, boop, boop, ba-doo, goober. Uh, the replacement for Warren was a replacement for Don Knotts. Run Rots, Run Rots, Scooby Doo. And George Lindsay was the replacement for Jim Neighbors, who went and got into it, Sergeant Carter, and was in Gomer Pyle. Right. So, okay. So, a long time ago, when the earth was green, there was all kinds of animals like you'd never seen. Rats and bats and elephants, and sure as you're born, the loveliest of all was the unicorn. And so you would think that, it being the 21st century and people being, the most intelligent people in the history of the world right now, that we would apply physics of the Lord's Prayer and be humble enough to understand the faith of Psalms and sustain it with the wisdom of Proverbs there to fix all computer problems of genocidal activities through irrational behaviors that are a threat to the planet species. And we're going to go to the moon to try to have better manipulation of the technology to, okay, they're fucking crazy. I could not go to bed. I remember when I got this shit in Sierra Vista, and they thought, well, he's not intelligent to figure all this stuff out and to keep children safe from perversion. And it's like, okay, just live the Lord's Prayer. Then you don't have too much time on your hands to think of all this crazy bullshit to be intelligent enough to. Okay, so here's a Cinderella story. Okay, what's that from? That's from. What's the name of that movie? Caddyshack. That's it. Okay, Cinderella's. Yeah. Okay, Caddyshack. It's Cinderella's story. Okay. I'm alright. Don't nobody worry about me, right? And so it's particularly disturbing that we are in the 21st century and people aren't using technology to do things that are intelligent to help save people from mass extortion, exploitation, and abuse. It's particularly disturbing. It's very disturbing, isn't it? Though I am very disturbed about that. Yeah. Okay. They're all dancing with Helen. She must be getting real tired. Yeah. Poor Helen. That'd be exhausted. She's in heels and none of them are. This is this this is a weird episode. Yeah. A lot of very strange directors and producers and people in Hollywood. They're comedians pretending to be animals to, yeah. You know. Okay. Yeah, I know. Okay. So, the inhumanity and the insanity of selfishness. Yeah, it's insane. You know, wow. It's completely and utterly insane. Yeah, I'm well aware of that. I'm the one who's been spending since June of 2009 out of YouTube, out of Sierra Vista, Arizona. I've been explaining it to you guys since then because apparently Judah Krishnamurti passed away and Haile Selassie and others have passed away, and then the little torch thing was passed on to Early Bird, and yeah, there you go. So, I'm an excellent driver. It's 20 minutes to Wapner. Charlie Babbitt's a joke. Yeah, he is. Scientology. Gonna solve all the problems in the world caused by religion. Okay, what religion do you know of in the world that is actually applying the physics of the commands of, his plan? Charlie's Purpose, right? Turning Point, right? Got that in the mail. I was looking at it like, what? Whose plan? I don't have a plan. No. I'm the Lord in the 21st century, and 20th century. No, I knew of other people that did the same thing I was doing. I didn't find out about it until the 21st century, but I didn't even know they existed. I didn't know. I had heard things about Haile Selassie, but didn't put much stock into it because of all the propaganda. Never heard of Sun Yat-sen until they put the stuff on the Chinese news channel after Dad shut down the dish. Never heard of Sun Yat-sen. Tiro Suzuki, no, buddy, not buddy. Alan told me about him because he was big into Bruce Lee. Never heard of Suzuki. No, never heard of and Judah Krishnamurti. No. As far as talking to the Buddha and having prayer connections to people like them, in my life, and understanding the traditions and the lineage and and all that good stuff. Yeah, I knew and always, so yeah. But as far as finding out that there were people like me during the 20th century, no, I didn't know. They gave me, false ones. They gave me Spencer J. Kimball, Ezra Taft Benson, Paul Twitchell, Darwin Gross, Harold Clamp, all the popes, all the pretenders for money corporations, but they never gave me a real, live, living, breathing, hey, that guy's, he's right. It's okay. I can get those till the 21st century when they took me to, Cochise County and Challenge, and I'm like, oh, shut up already, fuck. Yeah, that was, it was very funny. When I got Antoine LaVey and Michael Aquino in meditation and prayer, it was priceless. Old Earl's like, there are fates worse than death. The devil. Like, yeah, the fates worse than death. Like listening to you talk. I was like, yeah, I was more. I wasn't intimidated. No. I've known about the virtual presence, for a long time just by feeling him, David Rockefeller. So no, it wasn't intimidating at all. It was just, okay. He just went off, and I'm like, okay, he's going off, and he just went off. And the only person that I was kind of like geeking was Lord Saladin, the defender of Jerusalem during the Holy Crusades. Yeah, that, and then of course Haile Selassie, a woman that judges you. Oh, yes, sir. Okay, yeah, those were the two. Haile Selassie and Suzuki was very subtle, really nice. Sun Yat-sen, yeah, that was kind of a little bit, yeah, because I wasn't ready. I didn't want to bother him, and he told me that he didn't want to. We had talked briefly, but he didn't want to hear from me until after everything was done. And then when I talked to him, he was not upset. He was very upset about that. He was like, what, they can't get it right. They won't do it right. They're all still manipulating each other. He was very upset. And not to mention, he's when I'm talking to him, he's dying from chemical poisoning called cancer from his own people. So it was a very difficult time, and I didn't want to bother him, So he just kind of, those were the times that we had to communicate. There are other times now, and they showed me things and stuff that and we're communicating, and the communication's a little less stressed and a little bit better. Sometimes for him, he had it was a hard life. Yeah. Sun Yat-sen had a very, 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 very difficult existence. A lot like Haile Selassie. And so they had so much, like Moses, so much going on, so much to do. The ones I had more communications with were obviously Judah Krishnamurti and Tiro Suzuki, because they had more time to focus on meditation and communicating and being present in my life to help me through. The other guys had so much on their plate, it was horrid. And the hard part with Krishnamurti and Suzuki was meeting all the. Well, that also happened with Selassie and Sun Yat-sen. Yeah, they all did. I've never met any of them. No, I've not met one, and their dogs have gotten in my face and been shitty to me and mean mug me and but it's different now. Back then they didn't have Wi-Fi and cell phones to have the dog get in your face and go, "Oh, it's just the dog, okay. You're a human being. You're not a dog, okay. Wow, you're mean mugging me." I said, "Shit." You're smarter than me. I get it. You're telling me, okay, hey, you're inappropriate. You can't talk that way around people. Someone's got to talk that way around people. We're not all dogs that think money's real and will fight to, and kill to get it to fuck with. Yeah, someone's got to talk like I do, for crying out fucking loud there. Seriously. You're funny. I know. And so, crazy. Yeah, it is very crazy. Yeah, we're almost to go out there and do my get my shots up out in the barn for about an hour, and I got to go in there and shower up before I head out. But get my stuff on. Bimzelx. It's for a kiddo that's got forms of actual morbid obesity through biological and psychological conditioning through tribalism. Yeah, he's a big kiddo. Might have played offensive line or defensive line in high school and possibly college. Now he's a security guard, according to the Bimzelx commercial people. Yeah. It's a great day to shake a stove, wander to the fishing hole. I can't think of a better way to spend the time of day, whether it's hot, whether it's cool. Okay. Okay, so I never was really big on fishing. Yeah, I like fish, and but I was never really big on hunting. I didn't know. I like food. I will hunt when I need to. I'm more the type of person that I didn't mind watching and taking care of the chickens and the critters. So I'm more of a gracious good shepherd. So I'm more of a farmer than a quote hunter gatherer. But fish is a thing. They do fish farming in China, y'all, and Japan and stuff. So they do that there too. So you just got to understand how to. It should never be based off of economics. You always got to learn how to balance harmony and understanding. Maintain beauty through understanding nature, and be a humble and wise person. And so. Fiddle, faddle, and rot, say I say, fiddle, faddle, and rot. It's quite crazy what's going on in the world today with all these insane people thinking they're brilliant when they're actually quite insane. It's pretty wackadoodle. It's annoying. Yeah, I'm not, I am concerned, and of course I do care. That's why I still keep doing what I do and still post here on YouTube. But and I'm going to until further notice, until we, Jesus told me early on in this in Sierra Vista, you're going to be successful or die trying. I said, I'm going to die anyway. He said, there's your incentive. I was like, you are so much like me, dude. I like you so much. Okay, let's do this, right? And I used to joke, that movie, what's the name of that movie? Cusco's Poison, Emperor's New Groove, we're about to go over a huge waterfall. Sharp rocks at the bottom, most likely. Bring it on, so. I'm that type of. I've been this type of person my whole life. I've been. I didn't really have the capacity to do it on a master grand scale to protect people from abuse from abusers, but I've always been this way my whole life. Anywhere and everywhere I go, to varying degrees, and really good at it. And I know Rockefeller, he put me in this situation. He wanted to see what I could do. I don't know if it was so much he believed in me. I think he just played with people's heads. Remember when he did all this stuff about me and Jennifer Lopez and Yeah, I don't think he likes her. Well, he hates me, so he don't like most of you. I don't think he likes her. But, yeah, that'd be a pretty safe assessment. Well, he from what I got from him, he hates just about everybody. But with me, I think with me it was more of a challenge, and he was seeing if it wasn't so much of a play. It was just he was right and I was wrong. They'll never change. They'll always be fucking assholes. You're gonna have to end up losing your kindness and your forgive them, so and you're just gonna have to kill them all. That was basically what his thing was, and I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. No, life's eternal and grace is infinite, and so and God gave us free will, to be or not to be. That is, so I'm not going to quote kill them all with their technology. I'm going to correct their technology so the technology won't be used to kill people if they don't comply to bitch fits and whims like Rockefeller and Rothschild would do. So, there's a reason why I'm the Messiah from the Book of Revelation and you're not. So it's cool. I got it. I understand. Why I'm not going into outer space, and while these go up to the satellites and come back down and go, what are you doing? Batshit, crat shit, crazy, dirty, damn shit, fuck, crazy shit. Okay, fuck, we're still stuck in Catholic school in New York, right? So it's like, what? It's true, but oh, battle shits. What's that from? That's from the British girls with the at the college with Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. Remember that? Yeah, it's dumb. Yeah, very dumb. I watched lots of dumb movies I would never have watched if I hadn't have married Amy Suzanne Fabry. I wouldn't. I would be completely and utterly just like, what the fuck? To most of you crazy fuckers in the world today, if I hadn't have married Amy Suzanne Fabry. Yeah, because I pretty much kept to myself, and if people got a little bit too out there in left field, I was like, okay. And right field, I voted right field, like, come to our thing and you can worship Jesus with us and go to heaven with us. No. And I would tell them that too. It's like, well, yes, I know. I could not sit and listen to Micah W. Smith songs and Amy Grant songs and bullshit songs about Jesus as the magic first person egomaniac that you think you are. And they'll go, yeah, gosh, no. And all that things. You talk to my family, Bob Marley's in hell. It's like, and so with Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison. The more you guys talk about it, the better hell's looking every day. Well, Falana's probably there. I was like sitting there going, Charo, Raquel Welch, Yvonne DiCarlo's there. So, heaven sounds awfully boring and the music sucks. And, so I think I'm going all in on the Billy Joel, come out, Virginia. Don't make me wait. You Catholic girls starting much too late. Rather laugh with the sinners and cry with the saints, because sinners are much more fun. Darling, only the good die young, right? So yeah, that's their perspective. Bob Marley tried to live in heaven on earth to the best of his ability in this hell that we were stuck in. Okay. He was more of an apostle and an angel than any of the hypocrites that say we need to vote for president and go mass murder people that are on the other side of the mass murdering for money, for oil, for petroleum products Congo line, right? He was more angelic. And remember that one dude in Sierra Vista, I can't remember his name, and I sit there and said, closest thing to an apostle in your lifetime is Bob Marley. So I just can't see Jesus getting blunted before the Sermon on the Mount. If he knew the way you all think, he would sit there and say, okay, give me the blunt and pass the 40, which I gotta go talk to these dumbasses. I need a little bit of a buzz. Just kidding. I'm kidding. No, I don't like booze or marijuana. No, not at all. I like my facsimiles to be good. I like to think good. Having the hard times that I had when I went to the hospital with all that poisoning that was either alcohol or drink, which shows that how amazing I am. That they could put crap in my body that makes you act as if you're drunk, high, or inebriated. So I'm better than a fucking what's that guy's name? Sherlock Holmes. Did Robert Downey Jr. There you go. Yeah. Well, because he's just solving crimes because we're in extortion, exploitation, won't do anything to stop it. And I'm stopping crimes for extortion, exploitation, extortion because I'm living in body of the Lord's Prayer. That's like, it's humble. It's beyond genius. Go look up the word stupid in the dictionary. There you are. You're funny. Hey, here's old Ken Curtis here on the old Andy Griffith Show. Okay, guys. Campaign head clerks, Emmett Clark for the head of City Council. Okay, they're always doing these here TV shows and such and such. Yeah, it's weird because these guys, the way this town is, Mayberry and everything, because it's a Hollywood set and everything like that. You ever been to Carolina? Okay, they don't have the buildings all the way the buildings are is it's like it's supposed to look like a small town, but the thing about it is this: in small towns you have spaces between buildings, right? And you have trees and whatnot and so forth, right? And I've been to Kakalaki, and they have a few buildings up side by side, but then you got the trees up over there, and and it's isn't it funny? And when you watch Andy Griffith's show, that North Carolina in no way, shape, or form looks like Southern California. Remember that on Austin Powers? The English countryside looks no way like Southern California. So it's like don't look like North Carolina at all. No, not at all. I lived in Carolina. Yeah, nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. Old Miriam called it Kakalaki. I was like, well, girl, you from Florida. Just kidding around, but I'm from New Mexico. Buddy from Syracuse, New York said, yeah, New Mexico? You're from New Mexico and you love it? He goes, Earl, when I go through New Mexico, I feel like I'm going through a third world country. It's charming. That's just the way we like it. Sure not. Whatever. Okay, guys, I love you very much, man. We'll talk later. I'll probably talk to you tomorrow. Peace.